Hello, this is Future Pyro. I'm in the middle of editing this, and I realized that I might have started in Dream mode, which is basically the easy mode. It doesn't really change anything, but it does make like some certain segments of it easier. Matter of fact, I can probably just show it to you real quick. So yeah, you play the game on easy. You revive instantly upon dying, and it locks achievements. That's basically it. Nothing else changes. The damage modifiers don't change or anything like that. And the normal difficulty is just a normal difficulty. So my apologies. I didn't mean to do that, but again, it doesn't really change anything. And please enjoy the submission video. Take care. Hello, my name is Sin Pyro. My pronouns are they, them. This is my submission video for Games Done Queer. I will be submitting the randomizer for Timespinner. Timespinner is a wonderful Metrovania and very queer game created by Lunar Ray Games. This was showcased at, I believe, the most recent. I want to say it was Summer Games Done Quick. It was either SGDQ or AGDQ, the past one, by Waffle Soup, who did Any Percent. Or who did Any Percent New Game Plus. Me, I will be doing the randomizer. I really love this randomizer. It is very well built into the main game. It was originally headed, it's headed by Yarno, and with help from people like Wef Jepster, Triumphant Base, and just a lot of people who really love this game and want to make the randomizer as good as it can be. We'll go over my settings real quick that I plan on running. These settings tend to be pretty fast. We start with Jewelry Box, which enables weapon swapping. Progressive vertical movement means we will progress from double jump to light wall, which gives us a finite amount of vertical, to celestial sash, which is infinite vertical. Progressive key cards, we'll get our key cards in order from D, C, B, and A. Downloadable items, when we get the tablet, we can get item checks from the terminals in the present. We start with Mayf. Quick Seed, we start Talaria attachment, which lets us dash forward because we gotta go fast. Inverted, we start in the past. Stinky Maw, we are required to have the gas mask in order to do the Maw boss, whatever boss is going to be at the Maw. We're going to have randomized bosses. And that will also enable 2 checks in the present. Gyre Archives, once we have access to the military hangar, we will have access to the Temporal Gyre, which is a late game location. This also enables us to access the Ifrit boss in the library if we have Kobo, and the Ravenlord boss in the labs if we have Merchant Crow. Cantarin is a late game boss who is accessed after completing all the quests, all your companion quests. When we revisit this room, we will have a random boss there at the Cantarin spot in Serene Lake. Lore checks, memories, letters are item checks. And Enter Sandman is we can access the pyramid if we have the Twin Pyramid key. The mysterious warp beacon is what it is. Also, the final boss door will be open if we have all 5 Timespinner pieces. That is normal, but it gives us a second way to enter the ancient pyramid that isn't just going through the labs. Rising tides. Certain areas can have water where none was present, or be drained where there was water present. Unchained keys, we start with the Twin Pyramid key. Modern Warp Beacon can give us access to the present. Mysterious Warp Beacon gives us access to the pyramid, as I said before. Trap chest, we can have traps There are a lot of traps. There are a lot of traps that we can find. Back to the Future is when we're playing an inverted. If we wind up getting the time spinner wheel and the spindle before we get the modern warp beacon, we can warp to the present to the library in the present through the refugee camp in the past. Prism Break is rather than having 3 specific boss locations in the past that will grant us access to the military hangar, they are now items. So laser access A, laser access M, and laser access I. Specifically referring to whatever, the bosses would have been like the Alana place location in Royal Towers, the Maw location in the Caves of Banishment, and the Golden Idol location in the chapel, or not Royal Castle. Lock Key Amadeus. There are 5 items that will be shuffled throughout that will gradually disable lasers inside Amadeus rather than having to depower the dynamo. And Gatekeep, Castle Drawbridge in the pass is raised. We have to find the drawbridge key in order to lower it. Royal Roadblock requires a pink orb, item, which could be the Plasma Orb, Plasma Geyser, or the Royal Ring, in order to enter the Royal Towers. And that is it. So I'm going to generate a random seed. I will be having a seed vetted by my good friend Winfei Maiden, and I will also be having a commentator with me named Jim the Eternal. So let's go ahead and get started. And 3, 2, 1, go. And as I said, we'll be starting in the past. We'll be starting. We got to do the tutorial area first. Forbidden Tone minus. That's unfortunate. One of the settings is also balanced buffs and debuffs as far as your weapons are concerned, which means we have a balanced set of our orbs that could be plus, minus, or neutral. Generally speaking, plus gives a plus 50% damage boost, minus gives minus 50%, and neutral is just the vanilla damage. So we're just going through the starting area first, and then we'll be warping to the past. So we're going to go ahead and tag this. We're going to tag our warps as we go along. Our first check is going to be from our friend Nell here. Okay, security keycard D, that'll help when we get to the present. Anyway, like I said, this game is very queer friendly. The game has a lot of queer characters. Lunaeus herself is bisexual. Her love interest, Celeste, is a trans woman. And many of your companions and many of the characters are some form of queer, and it's a very, very charming game, very charming Metrovania. I love this game just because, not only is it a great game, but because it is very queer friendly. So right now I'm just going. Okay, there's one of the traps we can get, which is a very annoying trap. Spider Trap brings out Hellgazers, which block your movement. But yeah, this game is a very well made game. Lunar Games did an amazing job with this, and the randomizer has made it better. As a matter of fact, Lunar Games absolutely loves the randomizer, and he has participated in tournaments as well. So yeah, this is a very good game. The movement in this game is very clean, very responsive, and very fast. So the beginning of the game just basically revolves around doing a lot of checks, trying to find progression, Okay, there's one of the laser accesses from Prison Break. And the beginning of the game also revolves around like tagging a bunch of warps so you can return to certain areas faster. And one of the big things I really like about this game is this game really focuses on movement. The randomizer really focuses on movement. There aren't really a lot of glitches to exploit. I mean, not saying that there aren't any glitches to exploit, but there aren't any that, at least in my opinion, that, okay, there's double jump, that would make doing a lot of these checks faster. There are some ways you can go out of logic in this game, but generally speaking, racing this game revolves more around, you know, very precise movement and stuff like that. And like I said, the movement in this game is very clean. It is not too hard to go very fast. Okay, so I got double jump, which allows me to come over here. Oops. Oh, God. Please don't die. We'll go ahead and check and see what this boss is. Nope, we will pass on that for now. Emperor Nuvius is the last boss in the game. And him being at the Canterin spot just makes him a little bit more dangerous. Okay, I don't have any fire, so I can't burn the vines here. And you can see that icon that was for the trap. It was a poison trap. Jin Inferno. Okay, we have fire now, so we can burn the vines now. That'll open up checks in the present. Hello? But yeah, about me, I'm chiefly a randomizer player. I love randomizers. I don't really do much speedrunning outside of randomizers. Mainly because I think randomizers are really fun. I do have one game that I'm learning to speedrun, and one game that I have done speedruns of before, but other than that, I'm mainly just a randomizer player. Randomizers are really fun. They really breathe new life into old games. My first randomizer that I ever played was Symphony of the Night, and then it just kind of branched out from there. I went from Symphony of the Night to Final Fantasy VI Worlds Collide. Alright, there's Merchant Crow, so if we need to do a check-in, if we need to do the Ravenlord check in the labs, we got that available. Final Fantasy VI Worlds Collide, I did Final Fantasy 1, which I've done tournaments in quite a few times. And I've done, Timespinner. I just have like a whole resume of randomizers that I've played. Iron Ore Minus, that's unfortunate. I was really hoping for a better weapon. Ooh, this could be a problem. Fortunately, I have double jump, so it makes it a little bit easier. Okay, I do have my first shot. Good. Okay, so I can just crouch here. Kind of crouched in the wrong spot, unfortunately. Now, I really wish I had a better... Okay, I didn't crouch in the right spot there. Really wish I had a better orb to use, but alas, I don't. So now I'm going to be just waiting for my aura to refill so I can use bombardment on him. Come on. Come on. Again in the wrong spot. I might not be able to do this. Just have to take my time. Really, that's all I need to do is just take my time. Zion. Okay, there we go. Okay, we made it. We made it. We got there. And fortunately, I get a full health refill when I defeat a boss. Oops, wrong button. Oh, Galaxy Earrings, that's nice. That gives us that ups the experience of our orbs when we use them. Okay, good. We gotta. So where do we go from here then? So it looks like we gotta go down here without water mask, and that's unfortunate. So since we don't have water mask, we're gonna be missing a few checks, but it's okay. Our progression almost either has to be down here, or it has to be on the back edge. Which I should have actually done, because I did have double jump when I went up there. It's okay though. As far as an estimate goes, I'm looking for basically a 1:15 to a 1:30, 1 hour 15 minutes to 1 hour 30 minutes. And like I said, I will be having someone vet the seed for me. All right, so it has to be Bat Ledge now. That's the only other thing that I haven't done yet. So we gotta do. Oops. Okay, we gotta get rid of you. Gotta get rid of you. Okay, so jump here with dash. Okay, of course. There's water mask. Well, let's go ahead and clear out the Caves of Banishment. Though to be fair, I could really do this after I do the lower Caves of Banishment, but I'm already over here. Might as well make sure. Now, there isn't really a logic to this game per se, or to this randomizer per se, but the randomizer basically places items and checks to see if the game can be completed. I have Eternal Crown, so I don't need that. Eternal Crown is the second best helmet in the game, as far as damage is concerned. It's the best defensive helmet, but Empire Crown ekes it out in damage. What do we got here? Okay, there's a spindle. So let's talk about go mode for a minute. To get into go mode, we need to have all 5 pieces of the Timespinner, which is the spindle, the wheel, and the 3 gears. And then we need to have some kind of access to the pyramid. For the settings that I'm running, that could either be the mysterious warp. Oh, hello. I want that Empire Crown. I was just talking about that. Okay, here we go. So we need all 5 pieces of the Timespinner, and we need some kind of access to the ancient pyramid. We have, in these settings, we have two methods of accessing the ancient pyramid. The first one being having all 5 Timespinner pieces and going to the Amadeus Laboratory in the present. That will give us access to... Wait, what am I doing? I need a warp. That will give us access to another boss, and then access to the pyramid. The second way we have access to the pyramid in these settings is the Mysterious Warp Beacon, and that's because of Unchained Keys. So we get the Mysterious Warp Beacon, that gives us total access to the pyramid, without having to go into Amadeus Laboratory. And it also skips 2 bosses, because the lab's access requires you to fight whoever's at the Genza boss, on top of fighting whoever is at either the Prince Nuvius location or the Emperor Volteralus location. So ideally we'd want the Mysterious Warp Beacon, but it is not uncommon to have to go into the labs. So that water mask gave me a lot of open areas to check, and I will be checking those items very quickly. Eye Orb is one of my favorite orbs in the game. My absolute favorite orb is actually the Nether Orb, so I'm always happy if that rolls plus, but I haven't seen anything to indicate that yet. Soul Scanner is a key. It's technically a key item, but it's not progression. All it does is show the names of the enemies. But yeah, Water Mask is our underwater traversal. That's cosmetic. Just changes Luneus's appearance. But yeah, I recommend. Anytime somebody asks me for game recommendations, this is always on one of the tops. One of the tops on my list, because Timespinner is just such a charming game. It's a very good game with a very good story. And like I said, a ton of queer characters. Alright, we're going down in the lower caves of banishment now. Which, had we done this differently, we could have finished out the upper caves of banishment after doing this. But, yeah, you know what, it's okay. Of course, if I had it would have also been different if I'd have, you know, remembered I had double jump and could have gotten the bat ledge too, but it's okay too. Playing randomizers is about having fun. Playing games in general is about having fun. If you're not having fun, what's the point, right? Alright, we're going to do a save split here. I'm going to take a save here, and just in case, we got 2 checks down here that are kind of long to get to. And so if there's nothing in here, like that chaos trap, if there's nothing in here, then we'll just, okay, yeah, there's nothing here. So we'll just go ahead and go back to our save point. This randomizer is also supported by Archipelago, and Archipelago is actually built into the randomizer. So, I mean, I say built in, but it's more like you don't need an external client or anything like that. You still need like your Archipelago YAML and someone to host the game, but it's all done. I mean, all the information. Okay, there's a drawbridge key. All the information and stuff is handled. Like the client information is all handled through Siren's Cave. Okay, there's present access. I'm sorry. I keep getting interrupted when I try to explain that. All the information and stuff, all handled by the Archipelago servers, is all built in within Timespinner itself, and that was also done by Yarno and all of them as well. Like I said, this randomizer is very well put together into the base game. And I'm sure that Lunar Games has also had a hand in that as well, because, like I said, he really loves the randomizer. As a matter of fact, he's working on Timespinner 2 right now, and he's hoping to have a built-in randomizer into that game once it's released. Or if not once it's released, then at least when in future updates. But yeah, that's his next project is developing Timespinner 2, called Timespinner 2 Unwoven Dream, wishlisted on Steam. All right, so we do a little trick there to distend us from the hitbox of the elevator, so that we're not dropping at the same speed as the elevator. The elevator is actually dropping faster than us, and we're not able to move until the elevator hits the ground. So when the elevator will hit the ground before us. Okay, there's a Timespinner gear. the elevator will hit the ground before us and allow us to move earlier. So now that we now have access to the castle. So we're gonna go there real quick. But first off, I'm gonna do 2 checks down here that the water mask opened up, since I'm already over here. Captain's uniform. Okay. It wasn't anything, but it's okay. I need to check. Okay. Visor rogue. Okay. I currently have the highest damaging armor that I have right now. So, like I said, I'll be having my friend Jim the Eternal doing commentary. He is also, he is also a randomizer player, a Timespinner enjoyer. He loves talking about Timespinner, probably even more than I do. And he is far better. He is far better at commentary than I am, and I am grateful that he accepted being my comms again, or being my commentator again, if this gets accepted. And I really hope it does. So I can't get that check up there yet. But I've tried doing self-commentary, but my problem, I do have a problem commentating for myself, and it's mainly mental. But my brain tends to run slower than my mouth does. It's actually just, I always joke about that, and it's kind of funny to me. So we got the royal ring. Oh, okay. So we got 3 out of 5 of our Timespinner pieces already. So we got the royal ring, which gives us access to 2 checks in the royal quarters, as well as the rest of the royal towers. Do have present access, but I kind of want to clear out what I can here first. When I'm playing Timespinner casually, I am a very thorough player as far as checks are concerned. But you know, if you're feeling sweaty, you always take those gambles. And that was always a thing for me when I was doing tournaments with other randomizers. But I did, as far as this randomizer is concerned and what I've shown with it, I did do a marathon with this randomizer called Fireside Pride. I did that last year before, I believe. I think it was 2020. I think it was 2024. So it would have been last year. Yeah, it was 2024. It would have been last year. Because I was going to do Power Up with Pride this year in the summertime, but unfortunately life got in the way. So there were, I had Jim commentating with me that day too. It was a lot of fun. I really do enjoy doing marathons. Power Up with Pride was the first marathon I did. The first one I did was Winter Pride 23, where I did Link Between Worlds randomizer. And then again, like I said, last year I did Fireside Pride with Timespinner Randomizer. But this water here, okay, so that water there is actually an example of rising tides. That water is not normally supposed to be there. As far as me playing the game is concerned, there will be plenty of time. There will be plenty of time for donations to be read. I personally do not have any incentives to boast for this game because I don't feel like there is anything that would make a good incentive for me. At least not as far as playing the randomizer, anyway. Alright, so we're going to be coming up on our next boss, which is the Golden Idol, Idol boss area. And we'll see who we get. Okay, we get Alana. Alana's not too bad, even here. She's quote-unquote like the final boss of the past, I guess. Alright, so she's already in phase 2. Tried to do a thing called orb swapping there. Ooh, lab coat, that's the second best armor in the game. I tried to do a little thing called orb swapping there if you're, and it works really well with eye orb. So if your orbs are out and you swap to another orb, it actually cancels their return, and then if you swap back, it allows you to use the orbs yet again to pump out damage a little bit faster than you would otherwise. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and equip the Royal Ring now. That way I can get these 2 checks and access the Royal Towers. Alright, nothing here. So kind of what I'm looking for right now is I'm really just looking for the rest of my Timespinner pieces, along with better vertical movement, because while Light Wall is great as vertical movement, I don't like it, especially if I have to do Ancient Pyramid with, okay, Elevator Keycard, that's for the present, especially if I have to do Ancient Pyramid with just Light Wall. There's a section that of a very long drop in the Ancient Pyramid where okay, I can't go up there because I don't have vertical movement or time stop. There's a very long section in the Ancient Pyramid. It's just basically one long drop where in the vanilla game you're supposed to follow the path and get Celestial Sash to get back up. But you can use Celestial Sash, or you can use Light Wall, which Light Wall takes a long time. There is a trick to avoid that long drop with Light Wall, but I don't know how to do it. I've seen people do it, and it blows my mind every time. Alright, so we're just cleaning up the past now. After we get done with the towers, there really will only be a couple of checks left, one of which is gated by, well, one check is gated by one check and one boss. One check will be gated, oh, actually more than one check. There will be a few checks that will be gated by vertical movement, and then there will be the one boss that is gated by the gas mask. Okay, another whatchamacallit? Cosmetic. That's how my brain froze on the word. One check down here that I couldn't get because I didn't have vertical. Let's see what it is. It is, okay, that's wheel. So that's time stop. Now, I get to do something very interesting since I have double jump and the wheel. I am going to go do what we disaffectionately call the struggle juggle. It is a struggle to do. And this is actually considered in logic by the randomizer. So what we do is we use this guy. Come on. There we go. We use that guy to get up there using time stop and manipulating him to go upwards. there is another one. There is another struggle juggle down in the lower area of the towers where we can do basically the same thing. I'm really hoping I find my vertical before I get to Aelana, but it doesn't look like I'm going to. Okay, we got Cantor in here. Cantorin fights the same, basically the same as Aelana, except he has light balls instead of plasma. Okay, that's cosmetic, and okay, well, we'll have to come. We might have to come back here. So use a warp shard. Go back to our last warp spot, and we'll go do this. We'll go do the lower struggle juggle. Yeah, but like I said, there will be plenty of time for donation reading. Oops, I messed that up. There we go. As far as where I'm found, I don't really stream that much anymore. Whoops. The only time I really stream is if I'm doing like tournaments and stuff. I don't really stream myself playing randomizers or speedrunning anymore. Whoops. Okay, I messed that up. Do I have a Chaos Rose? I do not. Okay, so I'll have to wait for the Chaos to wear off. I do have a couple of things I can check while I'm waiting. Hello? Blood Orb. Blood Orb minus, that's unfortunate. Blood Orb is also one of my favorite orbs. Gotta wait for this Chaos to wear off. There we go. We'll use the sand bottle, and we'll try this again. Okay, that should be, yep, that's good enough. Alright, there was nothing here. Let's go ahead and warp shard back out, and we're going to go to the present. So we have a choice. We go to the sealed caves. Well, I guess we'll just go ahead and go to the sealed caves. We have the elevator keycard so we can get out. And we can go ahead and full clear this entire area. I have a feeling that because we got this as our modern warp beacon, that the randomizer probably wants us to go here. But yeah, now we're in the present of Lachium, this planet that we're on, which has been devastated by wars. So it's one of the things we're trying to set right. Fire Orb Plus, I'm not a huge fan of Fire Orb. I do have this Eye Orb, which is better, so I'm not too terribly worried about it. Dusk Ring, okay. So Dusk Ring tells me that Umbra Orb is neutral. Okay, there's B key cards. So we've almost got all our key cards. Now the Oculus Ring is only really useful if you don't know where the open or where the breakable walls are. For the randomizer, most of us already know. I'm gonna say probably 99% of us already know where the breakable walls are. So its only real use comes in a setting which I do not have enabled called I Spy. When I Spy is enabled, you cannot break the breakable walls until you get the Oculus Ring. You don't have to equip it, you just have to have it. There are a lot of settings in this randomizer that just make it just make it very fun to play, and you can create your own cursed stuff if you really want to. I've seen some very bizarre seeds. As a matter of fact, we just got done. I don't know if they're still going on, but I know I was in a 2v2 tournament with one of the GDQ staff was my partner, PT Pleasantly Twisted. Me and her had a very fun time, even though we didn't do very well, but we had a lot of fun. So yeah, and there was some really, really cursed settings in that 2v2 tournament. This is Zarian. Zarian's typically one of the last bosses you'll fight in this game. But in the vanilla game, he's like one of the last bosses you'll fight because he's in the lower sealed caves, and there's a Timespinner piece behind him in the vanilla game. But in that area, in Varnagroth Towers, yeah, Varnagroth is an early game boss and very, very easy to beat. Bosses are scaled to the location that they show up at, so it makes if you find later game bosses in earlier areas, it makes them a lot easier. Then there are early game bosses that become very cursed if you find them in late game areas. For example, the aforementioned Varnagroth. Let's go down here. Economizer ring. Okay, Gun Orb World Plus. Gun Orb is also one of my favorite orbs. Okay, there's the Umbra Orb. The only problem I have with Gun Orb is that it does have minimum range, which means if you're right up on top of enemies, you cannot hit them. There's the metal wristband. Did I grab this? I did not. Also, I have more. Okay, I'm going to grab this warp real quick. Oops. And then I'm going to go back and grab those checks that are up there. So I'm going to grab this warp just in case I actually need it. Then I got 4 checks up in this area, if I remember correctly. Either 3 or 4, one of the 2. Okay, that doesn't do anything for me because that's just access to the past. There are random occasions. I've seen it happen a few times. There are occasions where you will, excuse me, you will need the time-worn warp beacon in order to progress in the past. And that's just if the biggest instance of that is if you get locked out of the Royal Towers. Okay, that's all the checks here. Oh yeah, as you can see, I have a tracker in the lower right there. Probably won't have that on the stream if this gets accepted, but the map, the built-in map to the game, also has a tracker attached to it. It'll tell you where you're able to go with the items that you have. For the time being, though, I will be heading to the Vardengary, I think it's called Vardengary Metropolis, and doing some checks in the library. I should have just gone in the elevator. That would have been faster. Hello, Pyro. Let's go ahead and reverse that. It's a conveyor belt. If I didn't make it go the other direction, it would be slow. Okay, pointy hat. I like to call it the disappointy hat. Did we get Kobo? I forget. No, we did not. We have Merchant Crow, not Kobo. Alright, so I don't have tablets, so accessing that area doesn't do anything for me right now. Arm cannon. Arm cannon's a really good spell. I'm going to be looking for Shattered Orb and Bleak Ring, because Shattered Orb did roll plus. I know that because of Bombardment. And Shattered Orb plus Bleak Ring is just a really strong combination. Bleak Ring, what it does is it increases the damage of your melee orbs with each successive hit, but causes you to take more damage in return. Okay, there's my pyramid access. But it causes you to take more damage in turn. So it's a high risk, high reward type of thing. I have died to using Bleak Ring before, but it is a very strong ring. And very well, very good for speedrunning. So we're going to clear out what I'm going to go ahead and clear out what I can in the present. I mean, that A key card gives me access to lower sealed caves. Unfortunately, not one of my favorite areas to traverse. But it is available now. Now we're hearing my favorite music of the game. Most people agree, or most people in the community love... Oh, this is a great place for this boss. This is a Ravenlord. This is a late game boss, and he's very annoying. But this is the location of the very first boss fight in the game, so he's not very strong. Anyway, most people in the community agree that, or, you know, their opinions are valid. Their opinions are that Lake Serene, the music there, is the best music in the game. I think it's the second best. I really like Lake Desolation. Ooh, okay, how many are we at now? Okay, we're in go mode. I personally like Lake Desolation. After the music that plays after you get the Timespinner wheel, because it's very calming. I find it very calming, very soothing. Okay, so we're in go mode at 40 minutes, which bodes well, I'd say. We're going to be going ahead and going to the Ancient Pyramid. I am quite confident in my ability to complete the game. Oh, it even sets us here at the very end. Cool, so we don't have to go through the Ancient Pyramid. But I am very confident in my ability to do final bosses even underwater. Eye Orb is a very strong orb. I do have a very good... I have the best, like some of the best equipment, I think. I have the second best armor and the best helm, along with a really good damaging ring. Okay, this is gonna be a little tricky. This bosses like this are kind of tricky when you're underwater, but it's okay. You just can't be as fast with your movement like you are if it wasn't underwater. I'm still confident in my ability to beat this boss, so... Okay, so he's in phase 2 now. There we go. One more boss left to go, and it'll be time. And who's it going to be? It is going to be Azure Queen. This could be trouble. Fortunately, I do have some healing, but it does do a lot of damage. Let's go heal up right now. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and change this. Okay, that didn't really do anything. Now, see, this is where it gets tricky, although I can just stay up here until it goes away. Because when they're not moving, they don't have a hitbox. Stay up here for a little while. I'm going to go ahead and heal just to be on the safe side. Alright, that's time. But yeah, so I put together these settings, and with some help from Urza MTG, who's also a member of the Timespinner Randomizer community. I encourage everybody to get this game. Get this game, play the game throughout, 100% the game. It is amazing. You will not regret it. Play the randomizer afterwards. Join the Timespinner community. One of the best communities I've ever been a part of, and I'm so glad to be a part of this. I am so glad to be presenting this to you, and I hope you take into consideration for Games Done Queer. I thank you for your time. I thank you for your time and taking your time out to watch this, and I hope you all have a very, very good day. Take care.